your sins and repenting for my sins. And when we do a lot of these things, the Father's recording all of this stuff.
Bless all the poor, bless all the meek. If you listen to the shepherd, then you bless you the sheep. You the children of the Father if you live a life of peace. If you pure in your heart, then the Father you gon' see. Are you blessed if they persecute you for righteous deeds? Isaiah 5:20 in this world you gon' see. They gon' say you in the court, the devil mad he lost me. Y'all be blessed, they speak evil on our names falsely. Set a man against his son, cause this truth bring division. He ain't opened up his eyes, this the truth, this the vision. Preach the gospel to the world, Christ the truth, this the mission. Cast your net into the sea, we salute if you fishing. Set a man against his son. Isaiah 53, y'all look what we done done. Luke 19 verse 27 when he come. He coming in the power of his Father when he come. He coming in the power of his Father, we can't run. We gon' be the light in this world full of darkness. My bird shot at 623, they can't stop me. Admitted to this true straight crack, we gon' rock these laws on our conscience. Let your light shine, we gon' glorify the Father. The devil making war with the saints, get hotter. He overcame the world, give him praise, give him honor. They could get in flesh, but this soul they can't bother. They go out the bank trying to do away with Torah. Ain't paying us to sing, I'll be all out of order. Recompense coming, y'all the Father gon' restore ya. Isaiah 43 for his sons and his daughters. Romans chapter 7 verse 12 to these churches. If we break the laws, we gon' stay under these curses. Look up in your city, all the Israelites is certain. Don't know who we are, we gon' understand our purpose. Who gon' rise up, tell these people who they are? Who gon' tell these people they the children of y'all? Yeah, I am Father, I'll wait on your call. I'll say yes, I'll say yes, yeah, yeah. To your will and to your way. I'll say yes, yeah, yeah. I will trust you and obey. When your spirit speak to me, when I go out, I'll agree, and my answer will be yes, yeah, yeah. Somebody tell the Most High, yeah, say yeah. Somebody tell the Most High, yeah, say yeah. Hallelujah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Somebody tell the Most High, yeah, 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 yeah. Somebody tell the Most High, yeah, yeah.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook Live, good morning, good morning. Breaking Strongholds Ministries, good morning, good morning. YouTube with Orlando, keeping it simple. How's everybody doing this morning? How's everybody doing this morning? I hope everyone has had a great week. I hope the Most High have really truly blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and joy. I hope the Most High have really truly blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and joy. I hope He really truly have. I hope He really truly have. I hope He has blessed your offsprings. I hope He has blessed your whole entire family this week. I hope He truly have. You know, I hope He has. You know. For my week, it's been okay. I can't complain too much. I can't complain too much, and I won't complain because He really truly has been good to me. You know, I remember last week I was looking at the movie In the Time with not Sylvester Stallone, but Arnold Schwarzenegger. And at the beginning of the movie, it was a star that came over it came over the moon of the stars, and at that time, it was a sign to the priest of the Catholic Church that, hey, time is up. Time is up. And they was scattering, but what they did, right? What they did is they also knew they knew that it was going to be a baby that was born. They knew that it was going to be a baby that was going to be born at that time. And they knew that that baby was going to be special for a certain period of time. For that certain period of time. But they had to find out what baby would be born on that night. And what they did was they used snake venom or snake blood to put on the baby's mouth to mark her as a means of identification. So when the devil or the Hashatan came on the scene, they would know which young lady they was looking for and who they were supposed to crucify on the day of the Hashatan. But in order for them to be able to understand when the baby would be born, they had to look up in the stars to be able to see the star falling from the sky. And when they saw the star falling from the sky, they knew that that baby was going to be born that night. It says in Matthew chapter 2. It says in Matthew chapter 2, verse 1. Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem in the days of Judea, in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we seen his star in the east and are come to worship him. So the signs and wonders are in the skies to give you notifications of when things are supposed to happen. Signs and wonders happens in the skies to be able to let you know what's going on the earth. Let's go to Exodus chapter 20. And El spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy El, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other Els before me, and thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah thy El, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy El in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy works, but the seventh day is the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy El. In it thou shalt not do any works, thou nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the Sabbath day. Wherefore if Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy fathers and thy mothers, that their days be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy El giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbors, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And let us pray. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine to your kingdom, power to your glory, forever and ever. So let it be. Amen. So if you could turn the word of the Most High to Revelation chapter 20. Yeah, the key verse is gonna be verse. Something going on with me right now. Something going on. Most High is working with me right now. So forgive me. Just hold on. The Most High is working with me right now. He's working, dealing with me on something. Okay, it's going to be verses 1 through 10, but the key verse is going to be verse 7. Verse 7. And it reads, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan will be loosed out of his prison, and he shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camps of the saints about and beloved, and fire came down from the God out of the heavens and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstones, where the beast and the false prophets are, and shall be tormented day and night forever. Okay. Let us go to let me read verse 2, verse 3. And it reads, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the world, the nation no more, till the 1,000 years shall be fulfilled. And after that he must be loose a little season. This is the key verse right here. Let me read it over. And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years shall be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season. I saw a throne, and they sat upon them. Judgment was given upon them unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witnesses of Yeshua, for the word of El, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their forehead or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years was finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that has parted in the first resurrection. On the second death has no power, but they shall be priests of El and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. Okay, verse 3 again, it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years shall be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season. Okay. Job. I'm going to go to something for Job real fast. Job chapter 20, verse 5. It reads, and I want y'all to keep this in the back of your mind, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of hypocrites but for a moment. Though his excellence mount up to the heavens, and his hairs reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore the good. Verse 5, it says that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrites but for a moment. Okay. So when we look, we all know that the book of Revelation means that revelations means to reveal, means to basically take the fish scales off your eyes and to be able to see things for actually what it is. And we also know that the person who wrote the book of Revelations, or how the interpretations of the book of Revelations was given to us from the people who will be persecuted, not the people who will be receiving the reward. Understand that. So if I was persecuting my wife, and I read the book of Revelation, I would look at it from a horrific or bad moment for me because I was considered to be a wicked person. But if my wife read it from her viewpoint, from a righteous viewpoint, she would look at it as a moment of joy and happiness because she would be delivered from her oppressor or from the wicked ones of the world. So we have to look at it when you're reading the book of Revelations. What viewpoint are you reading it from? Are you reading it from the righteous, or are you reading it from the wicked and how they interpret it, how the preachers and the pastors interpret it to you? Because you got to understand that the book of Revelation was interpreted by the oppressors to our people. So if it was interpreted to our people from the oppressors, yes, the book of Revelation looks as a doom and gloom book. But in actuality, it is a very joyful book for the people of the righteousness, for the people of the Most High. It's just depending on your viewpoint or your stance in the world today. Like Job 5 said, now listen to it again, that the triumphing of the wicked is short. We have to understand who's running the world today. The wicked. So when the wicked reads the book of Revelation, they are looking at it from a horrific or bad moment in time for them because they understand that it's very difficult for them. It's going to be very difficult for them because of what they have done in the past. But if you're going to view the book of Revelations from a righteous point of view, you interpret it as the Most High bringing judgment on the wicked. It's like if I beat my wife, hypothetically, if I did something bad to my wife for a long period of time, in the moment that the Creator was bringing judgment on me, she would look at that as righteousness, and I would look at it as being horrible. So when you're reading the book of Revelations, you got to understand what lens and what viewpoint are you looking at it from. Because when you find out what lens and what viewpoint you're looking at it from, it will stir up an emotions inside of you to be able to make you feel a certain way about the book of Revelation, or what we're presently in today, the moments that we're in today. See, the moments that we're in today is judgment on the wicked. And see, my wife was talking to me this morning, but she also was talking to me last week, right after my teachings last week. She said some stuff to me about what the Most High told her. You want to tell some of the stuff what you said about the Most High, what He told you about Bill Gates and all of that? See, the Most High allowed things to happen. And he allowed things to happen for a short period of time. Everything that you're seeing on the earth today is only for a short period of time. And that's something we have to understand. It's only for that short period of time. Okay. It's only for a short period of time. In Revelation chapter 16, verse 2. Okay. Let me go to verse 1. It says, "And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels," or the messengers, "Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of El upon the earth." Listen to this one. "And the first went and poured out his vials upon the earth, and there fell a nuisance and grievous sores." Listen to that. "A grievous sores upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image." Understanding that the people who took the mark of the beast, they was persecuted on the earth with sores, okay? Then it says in verse 16, it says, in verse 3, it says, "And the second angel poured out his vials upon the sea, and it became as blood of dead man, and every living soul died in the sea." Okay? And I want to try to find it. So we understand that those who took the mark of the beast is going to suffer for a certain period of time. We also know that the Hashatan was allowed to only rule for a certain period of time. And that's something that we have to understand when we're looking at the book of Revelation. But we have to understand that our interpretation and how we view it is based on whether we see ourselves as being wicked or righteous. Like I said in verse 20 and 3, it says, "And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, and that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years shall be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season." And the title of the text today, "Satan time is up." This is a prophetic saying that everything that you're seeing now, it is to let you know that his time of ruling the earth is over. It's just like when Paul had the experience of the road of Damascus. It was as if the Hashatan was ruling over Paul until he really had that true encounter with the Most High, or Yahshua the HaMashiach. And when he had that true encounter with the Most High, he changed his life. He had been resurrected from the dead. Okay? So if I may give you two words today. The Two words today, and one is loose. Loose. It means to untie or unbind, to free from any fastening, to release from imprisonment, to liberate, to set at liberty. Listen to this part right here. Not securely fixed. Because Satan has been loosed on earth does not mean that he's going to reign forever. Means that he's only going to be here for a little bit longer, and that's it. And the reason why he's here for that little bit longer is for the judgment that everybody sees that he's going through. Everybody going to see the wicked go through the judgment that they're supposed to go through. Because they received the spirit of the Hashatan. Okay, the word serpent is a subtle or malice person. It's a reptile. It is also named after a constellation. A serpent is also named after a constellation. It could be a malice person, or it could be a reptile. Okay? Let me do something, see if I have something up. A constellation is what goes on up in the heavens, and those constellations can last for thousands of years, or hundreds of years. And those constellations put spirits in the atmosphere, and it can affect the earth. But what I want to do today, and I hope this makes some sense, I want us to be able to see that when it says in verse 3, after that he must be loosed a little season. I want to talk about why I say that Satan only has a short time. Satan's time is up. And I'm saying that because he must be loose a little season. Never tells you the amount of time that he will be here. He was in prison for 1,000 years, and then he let his 1,000 years up, then he let him release him again for that little season left. Okay. What happened to Satan? Where was Satan when he first began to be on the earth? When he was first created? Where was Satan at when he was first created? Let's go to Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14:12 verses 14 through 14. Because I want us to understand something, that the Most High cannot continue to allow that spirit to continue to dwell on the earth forever. Okay. It says, how art thou fallen from heavens, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? Okay. O Lucifer of the morning star, let us understand what he did. Which did weaken the nations. That was his actions. And I'm going to get back to that. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into the heavens, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of El. And I will sit also upon the mount of the congregations in the sides of the north, and I will ascend above the height of the clouds, and I will be like the Most High. Let me give you the definition of the word like. The word like means equal in quantity, quality, or degree, as a territory. Okay, it means similar, resembling, having resemblance. It never meant the same. Like is not the same as if, as the original. He wanted to be like the Most High, but he never could be like him. When you look upon the earth today, this is like heaven. Doesn't mean it is heaven. It's heaven for some people because of the rewards that they get. But doesn't mean it is heaven for the righteous. It is only heaven for the wicked. So when he said, I want to be like the Most High, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the side of the pit. Okay. So he was a morning star. He was up there with the Most High. And he was cast out of there because he wanted to be like him. He wanted to have his own dominion in his own place to be worshipped. He couldn't reign up there with the Most High, so he wanted his own place of worship. So in order for him to have his own place of worship, he had to be kicked out of the heavens and be what? Thrown to the ground. What is considered to be the ground? The earthly realm. He was thrown to the ground, to the earthly realm. Let us go to Revelation chapter 12, verses 7, chapter 12, verses 7 through 9. Okay? Because I want us to understand something. Serpent means, devil means a deceiver or a liar as well. It's a spirit that is a deceiver or a liar as well. Okay, in Revelation chapter 12, verses 7 through 9, it says, And there was war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. The dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heavens. Listen to this. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceive. Understand what his action, his main purpose was to do. Was to deceive, which he did deceive the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now has come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our El and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brothers cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. So we understand that the Hashatan was cast out of heavens, a Shimeam, because he wanted to be like Christ, because he wanted to have the position of Christ, of the Most High. He wanted all of that. But he was only given that assignment for a short period of time. He was only given that authority for a short period of time. So when we look at the Hashatan, let us go to Ephesians chapter 12, and I'm trying to build chapter 6 verse 12, because I'm trying to build something for you to let you know that the Hashatan has been here for over 6,000 years or more, and his time is up because he have ran his course. He have ran his course. See, the Hashatan is not just in the earth. The Hashatan is in the governmental systems that we see today. And see, what you don't see, that some of you are don't seeing that the Most High is bringing down these governmental systems. Everything that you think you see is not actually what you see. What you think you see is not actually what you see. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So the Hashatan is not just in the earth, he's in the most powerful places that you could ever imagine. And the word high places means this right here. It says, let us do this, because it gives you other things. It means in a superimpositions of time, place, and order of a relationship or distribution. It means that he is the Hashatan. He is above all governmental authorities on the earth. That's what Ephesians 6 and 12 say. He's not just cast down to the earth. He's in all principalities on the earth. And see, the Most High cannot allow, it's like how the Most High is changing things on the earth. He first have to, and see, this is what I had a hard problem with a couple of weeks ago, is educate or take the fish scales off the people's eyes of what actually is going on in the world. A lot of people are actually waking up to the true reality of what's going on in the world. My wife was talking to one of her clients yesterday. She said that I am not going back to these doctors because they have made me so sick. And they have gave me all this medication all my life. It has continued to make me sick. See, people are waking up. If you look at the hospitals or the pharmaceutical symbol, it is a snake wrapped around something. And that is a symbol of witchcraft. Even when you look at the word pharmaceutical, it means wickedness, sorcery. And see, now people are shifting away from the pharmaceutical industry because they see that it is sorcery. They see that it is witchcraft. They see that these doctors are really not truly helping the people. They see that. Even when you come down to the foods, I hope you all understand that they have now lab meat. They are creating meat in the lab. They taking portions of the DNA from a chicken and making it to be breast, chicken breast, whatever the case may be. Even when you go to KFC, they got Lilith on one of their cups. Lilith is a spirit of wicked or demonic spirits on the earth from Lilith. Lilith. So now when we understand that Hashatan from the beginning of time was cast down to the earth. And see, he just didn't control. He's not just on the earth through spirits. He is controlling the governmental systems through our politicians. And what is his job? His job is to deceive. His job is opposite of what the Most High is trying to do for you. So let us go and see. Let us go to Genesis chapter 3, verses 1. And see the spirit that is on the earth now is a lot of people are waking up to the truth. A lot of people are waking up to the truth. There's so much truth out there now that they're passing laws to stop it from being. See, it says, let me go back to, just stay where you are. Let me go back to Revelation chapter 12. It says, Revelation chapter 12 and 9, it says, and a great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, that's Satan, which deceived, means to make people blind, not be able to see the truth, not be able to see things for the reality of what it actually is. People was not able to see the truth as long as he was in control. But now that short period of time is over where he's not in control anymore. That is what the biggest, right now, the biggest fight on the earth is about information. That is the biggest fight on the earth right now. The biggest fight on the earth right now is about information. It's not about anything else but the information that is out. So the Hashatan just wasn't cast down on earth. He was put into our governmental system for a short period of time. How you know he was considered to be a deceiver, right? It says in Genesis chapter 3 verse 1, it says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahuwah had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, has God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And see, the woman knew that. And he was playing trickery of words at this moment. He was deceiving Eve with words. That was his main job, is to throw Eve off track. And see, when you don't have a connection to the Father, you can easily be thrown off track. Eve was thrown off track because the simple fact is, he was tempting her with an appetite. See, let us go down to verse. Let us go to verse 5. It says, For El doeth not, it says, For El doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. That was the deception. He deceived Eve by an appetite. That was his main job. He's in the earth and he's in governmental powers. He's here to deceive you for just that short period of time. Understand that. Let us go to John 14. And it's not going to be long today. But I feel like the Most High is really, he got something on me he want me to tell you. But I'm waiting for it to come out. Because we have to understand that the Hashatan don't have no righteousness in him. Don't have no goodness in him. It's like last week, it's like my wife was telling me, she said, baby, the apples are GMOs now. Genetic modified organisms. Everything that you see in the earth at this point is moving more towards the Hashatan way of living and not the way the Creator wants us to live. All the fruits that's out here today, majority of all the fruits out here today, if you're not growing your own fruits, are mostly GMOs.
Clouds now modified.
The clouds are modified. The last week that we had rain in Georgia, that was acid rain. Those clouds was chemically based from the military. Okay, in John 14 and 30 it says, Hereafter I will not talk much with you. Listen to this. For the prince of this world cometh, has nothing in me. But the world may know that I love the Father, and as the Father gave me commandment, even so I do. Arise, let us go hence. But listen to what Yeshua said in verse 30. Hereafter I will not talk much with you, for the prince of this world cometh, and hath nothing in me. What Yeshua was saying at that point is that the Hashatan don't have no righteousness in him at all. So he just came here to be the complete opposite of love. He was hating. He's a hate monger. And I'm gonna get back to Revelation in a few minutes. And it says in let us go to let us go to 2 Corinthians 4:4. Because when he deceived Eve, that was at the very beginning. Now this is Paul. Christ even said it. Christ even said the Hashatan don't have nothing in them. Now this is Paul. It says, in whom the God of this world, listen to what is being spoken. Listen to what is being spoken. How it's being spoken. What is being said about the person. It says, in whom the God of this world has blinded the minds of them which believe not. See, that was his main objective, is to go against and make people not to believe that the Most High is not real. That was his main purpose. To make people believe that the Most High is not real. But a lot of people are shifting. A lot of people are starting to see that things are getting crazy. It says, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of El, should shine unto them. For we preach not ourselves, but Christ, and ourselves your servant for Yahshua's sake. For El, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our heart to give the light of the knowledge of the glorious El in the face of Yahshua the HaMashiach. So he came to deceive the whole world about everything that was going on. Just look at what happened last 3 years. He deceived the whole world to make the whole world panic and make decisions that they shouldn't have made. That was his whole purpose. That is his whole purpose in the earth at this time, to make you make bad decisions about your life. That is his main purpose, is to make you make bad decisions about everything that's going on in your life, and make you not believe that the Most High really truly exists. That is his main purpose. And see, some of us don't believe that spirits are real. Some of us don't believe that. Let us go to 1 Kings 22:22. Listen, let's look at this. Let's go to verse 21 first. Because that spirit can only last on this earth for a short period of time. This is a teachings on today of hope. This is teachings today of prophetic. But it also is a teaching today about reality. Understanding, they said, test the spirit by the spirit. Okay, it says in verse 21, it says, and there came forth a spirit and stood before Yahuwah and said, I will pursue him, persuade him, I will persuade him. And Yahuwah said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a what? lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. Now therefore, behold, Yahuwah had put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these prophets, and Yahuwah spoken evil concerning thee. So now let us go to Job. Let us go to Job chapter 1. See, his job just is not to deceive. His job is to test and destroy and make you denounce the Most High. Listen to this. Verse 6 in Job chapter 1. And it reads, there was a day when the sons of El came to present themselves before Yahuwah. And Satan came also among them. Listen. And Yahuwah said unto Satan, which cometh thou? Then Satan answered Yahuwah and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Listen to where he was. He was in the earth, walking up and down in it, looking and seeing who he can destroy. That was his whole method. That was his whole purpose. And see, a lot of us fall into that situation, fall into temptations. This is what he said. And Yahuwah said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, when there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth Yahuwah and eschew evil. Then Satan answered Yahuwah and said, do Job fear El for naught? Has not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he has on every side? Thou hast blessed the works of his hands, and his substance is increased in his hands, in his lands. Now listen, it says, but put forth thy hands now and touch all that he has, and he will curse thee to thy face. Now listen to what Most High gave the Hashatan to do. Because the Most High, the Hashatan is just to turn you away from the Most High. That's his job. He started from the very beginning to the present time now. Every decision that you make in your life, you got to see who is influencing you to make the decisions you make. Is it the Hashatan or is it the Most High? Then it says, and Yahuwah said unto Satan, behold, all that he has is in thy power. The Most High gave authority to Satan, the Hashatan, to do whatever he wanted to do to Job. Now, why did the Hashatan gonna kill that man's family and take him and make him sick? What? Why did the Hashatan do what he did to Job? Why did the Hashatan destroy Job's life to what it appeared to be from a physical realm? Why did he destroy Job's life? He destroyed Job's life to be able to push Job away from the Most High. That is what Satan's job is. So when Adam and Eve committed the sin, they was kicked out of the Garden of Eden where the presence of the Most High was. Satan is trying to put everybody in the same conditions that he's going to be in. And he's trying very, very hard to do that. Once Satan got Eve to do that and Adam to do it, they was kicked out of the Garden of Eden. Now Satan's main job is to make Job denounce the Father. That's Satan's main job, is to make you. He's gonna put you in a position to make you denounce the Father, because he knows that he ain't got nothing but a short time left in the earth. And his job is to mainly make you denounce the Father in the midst of everything that's going on in the world today. Because it says, and it says, then Satan answered Yahuwah and said, doeth Job fear El for nothing? Has not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he has on every side? Thou hast blessed the works of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. Listen to that verse. He said, the only reason why Job is blessing you is because you blessed him. That's what the Hashatan is saying. And that's when the Most High allowed Satan to test Job, or to make Job denounce the Father. That's the Hashatan's only purpose in this earth, is to make you denounce the Father and to ride on his coattail. That's his main job. And see, a lot of us fall prey to that. Then it says, all that he has is in thy powers, and only upon himself put not thy hands. It says, listen to this, only upon himself put not forth thy hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of Yahuwah. So what did Satan do? Satan destroyed the property and his children, just so that Job can denounce the Father. So it's like, when you're looking at whatever you're going through in life, you got to get the Most High praise all the time, because the Hashatan has an assignment. And he only has that assignment for a short period of time. So whatever you may be going through in life, whatever it is, you could never give the Hashatan praise. You could never listen to that voice. You could never give him the credit for anything that's happening in your life. You cannot do that. Because I'm praying this Tuesday. I was praying Tuesday morning, and the Most High said to me, those who ain't on the court with me, I ain't got nothing to do with you. Because you have given your life over to the Hashatan. He said, if you're not on accord with what I'm trying to get you to do and how I'm trying to get you to be, I ain't going to have nothing to do with you. And see, right now, it's not a time to be playing with the Most High. It's not a time to be playing in this world. It's not a time to be straddling the fence. Either you're going to be hot or cold. You can't be warm. So the Hashatan destroyed Job so that he could denounce the Creator. So he's not here just to deceive you. His main purpose is to make you worship him and to love him and denounce the Father. That's his main job. Because he know I ain't got nothing but a short time left on this earth.
And he trying to tear it up.
Let's go to Ephesians 2 and 2.
What is that?
Ephesians 2 and 2. See, he just don't want you to denounce the Father because of whatever it is. He want to try to control your whole behavior, your whole lifestyle. He's trying to control every aspect about you. Because he know he ain't got nothing but a short time left. And he's trying to get as many of us as he possibly can. Ephesians 2 and 2, I'm going to go to 1 first. And ye have quickened who were dead in trespass and sins, wherein in time past ye walk according to the course of this world. Understand who's in control of this world. Understand who's in control of the governmental systems. Understand what he did to Eve. Understand what he did to Job. Understand all the things that's going on. I'm going to go to another one too. Understand that. It says, walk according to this world, according to the prince of the powers of the air, the spirit that now worketh in children of disobedience. That's why Christ said, if ye love me, keep my commandments. Because when you walk contrary or opposite of the commandments, you're being disobedient. That means that the Hashatan has a strong hold on you. And when he has that strong hold on you, you're going to do everything that the world does and not what you're supposed to do. It says, among whom also we all had our conversation in times past, in the lust. See, that's what the Hashatan wants you to do. Lust of our flesh. You could never satisfy the flesh. I don't care what you do. Because you could never satisfy the flesh. Never. But the Hashatan is always presenting things to you to make you want more and more and more and more. And it says, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. But God, who is rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us, even when we were dead in sin, has quickened us together with Christ. By grace ye are saved. And has raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places in Yahshua the HaMashiach. So, we have to understand that that's his job. That's his job. That's his job. His job, understanding that he in this earth for a short period of time, he's controlling the governments. He's controlling the powers that be. He's here to deceive us, to destroy us, to push us away from the Creator. He understand because you got to understand that he was cast out of heaven. That means that he was out of the presence of the Yahuwah. He wasn't in the presence of Yahuwah. And see, when you look at the story of Job, it's showing you that the Hashatan don't have no power. Everything that he has, it is given to him by Yahuwah. So let us go to Matthew chapter 4. He's doing everything in his power right now to influence you, to entice you, because he knows his time is up. He knows that. He knows this. He knows it's up. He knows it's over. Matthew chapter 4 verses 1, it says, Then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tried and tested of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards in hunger. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. See, that's his only job. Is to deceive, lie, destroy, and tempt you to do the things that he wants you to do. Because he do not want you in the presence of Yahuwah, which is the spirit of the word. That's his whole job, because he know that it's over for him. It's over. Everybody is waking up. The Most High have put that spirit on us to wake up and to see reality for what it is. And it says, in verse 4 it says, But he answered and said, Is it written, man should not live by bread alone? But listen to this. But every word, by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of El. And see, last week the Most High told my wife, study my word. Study my word. Study my word. And see, that's what we have to be doing right now at this moment. To be studying the Most High Word. My wife said that the Most High said, get some hardback Bibles, right? Say it, because I don't want them thinking I'm just speaking for you. What did the Most High tell you about Bibles?
Make sure you have a copy. Make sure you have a hardback.
Why?
Because people depend on technology and their phones
you gotta
and
talk
computers to read and research. If it's not in your spirit, then you're gonna need that book.
Because when the power grid go down,
yes.
If you don't have a hardback Bible, when the power go down, you're not going to have nothing to sustain you through the tough times.
Right. Like the book of Eli.
Huh?
Like the book of Eli.
Right. Just like the book of Eli.
It just came up.
Just like the book of Eli. What sustained Eli through all those tough times was the word. So let us go back to Revelation chapter 12, verse 3. Chapter 20, verse 3. Cause I'm gonna tell you this. He understands his destination. He understands this. That in verse 9, he's trying to get you to go where he's going. He's trying to get you to go where he's going. You understand? He's trying to get you to go where he's going. Where he going? Verse 9. Because he know he don't have nothing but that short time. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camps of the saints about. In the beloved cities, fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstones, where the beast, listen to this, where the beast and the false prophets are, and shall be tormented day and night forever. Let me just see something. Do you remember when Moses was coming out of Egypt? And Egypt made Israel become a wicked nation, and they persecuted the children of Israel. And when the Most High was bringing the children of Israel out of Egypt, and Egypt had to go through judgment, in Exodus chapter 9, verse 22, 23, and 24, listen to this. And Yahuwah said unto Moses and Moshe, stretch forth thy hand towards heaven, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, upon man and upon beast and upon every herb of the field throughout the land of Egypt. And Moses stretched forth his rod towards heaven, and Yahuwah sent thunder and hail, and the fire ran along upon the ground. And Yahuwah rained hail upon the land of Egypt. So there was hail and fire mingled with hail, very egregious, such as there was none like it in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation. And the hail smote throughout all the land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail smote every herb of the field, and brake every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were was there no hail. Listen to that part. Egypt got struck with hail, and everything inside of Egypt burned up, except the land of Goshen, where the true followers of the Most High was. Understand that the Most High is bringing judgment on Egypt. Understanding that the Hashatan know that he got an appointed place to go. His time is short. His Satan time or the Hashatan time is up. In this day and time, do not allow him to deceive you. No matter what you're going through in your life, never allow him to deceive you. Never get him to push you away from the Most High at this point in time. Never be obedient with the commandments. Because Christ said, if you love me, the Mashiach said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Because what Satan is going to go through, it's going to be hell and brimstone and fire. And he's trying to take you with him. So I just ask you today, don't get caught in the traps and snares of the devil. Because Satan's time is up. And he's trying to get everybody that he can get to go with him. His 1,000 years of his short period of time is up. He's been in existence since the creation of the heavens. He's been cast down on the earth for over 6,000 years. He was here before Adam and Eve was here. He was just waiting on them in the Garden of Eden. So don't get caught in the traps and the snares of the world. Because he just want to take you with him because he know everything is up. Amen?
Amen.
So that concludes my teachings for today. I just ask that you you be understanding that there's finna be some more stuff come on to tempt you to do some stuff you shouldn't do. And I just ask that you be faithful to the word. In Matthew 22:2 it says, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. Again he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fattens are killed. All things are ready. Come unto the marriage. Listen to that. Come unto the marriage. But they made light of it and went their way. One to his farm, another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them. But the king heard thereof, and he was wroth. And he sent forth his army and destroyed those murderers and burned up their cities. Then said he to his servants, the wedding is ready. Be they which were bidden were not worthy. Be worthy for what's to come. So that concludes the teaching for today. Let me pray so we can go. Abba, as we come to you today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you, we give you all the honor and the glory. Abba, we thank you for everything you have done and what you continue to do. Abba, we know that you're getting ready to bring down hell and brimstones. We know that you're going to bring the atomic bomb, the nuclear weapons to the earth. We just ask that you have us prepared, because we know the Hashatan time is short and it's up, and he's trying to do whatever he can do to get as many people as he can before you come. We ask that you give us the faith of Abraham, the strength and the warrior mentality of David, the wisdom of Solomon, the faith of Ruth, Esther, and Peter and Paul. We ask that you continue to let us have the prophetic vision of John. Let us continue to be like your son Yahshua the HaMashiach, become the walking word throughout humanity.